The beef goes on. McDonald's beef goes on. Your big beef, pure beef, hot and lean. Oh, the beef goes on. You're 100% pure beef machine. Oh yeah, the beef goes on. For Big Mac, a quarter pounder, lean and hot. Your big beef taste just won't stop. It's a good time for the great taste. On McDonald's, the beef goes on.
This Honda Civic has been held up as the best value in a four-door import. But now there's the 86 Colt DL. Same size engine, same front-wheel drive, same room for 5, but they're not the same. The Colt is less expensive by $870, flat. Colt, imported for Dodge and Plymouth, built by Mitsubishi in Japan. Colt, it's all the Japanese you need to know.
Shh, be very, very quiet. Hey, what's up, Doc? I'm hunting for the sharpest VCR picture. Then what are you doing over there? Sony Super Beta has a picture like real life. 20% sharper than the one that beat VHS. Pesky rabbit. And only Sony has this super special effects reel. I'll give you a special effect, rabbit. Oh, sorry, Doc. Super Beta is sharper. Sony, the one and only.
Now, a world of magic is in your hands.
Hey, stop! Dragon breath!
Panasonic presents Omnimovie, a camera and video recorder in one. Capture magic moments forever.
Get a close-up, Joe.
Yeah. Omnimovie uses full-size VHS tapes, plays Hollywood movies or your own.
Just like Santa.
Don't miss a single Omnimovie magic moment from Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
I cut my teeth on quality rock and roll, too. That makes me a foghead.
Morning, I am here with Classic Rock. I'm K-Fog.
This is Scoop, and if you don't like the news, go out and make some of your own.
Here's your host for 10 at 10, Dave Morey.
A psychedelic supper.
Bonnie Simmons at the Supper House on K-Fog.
You have a remarkable mouth.
K-Fog's a remarkable radio station.
Away.
A seed, yet unborn, touched by nature's magic wand, becomes nourishment. My walk, a valley, ice and tastes cascading down. Luscious steam rises. Deep brown source splashing. A symphony of flavors plays the cook's love song. La Choy, nutrition, taste, simplicity. Tonight, we're Beatrice.
People are tough on their bathrooms, so they need something to clean them that's even tougher. That's why Heavy Duty Tough Act was invented. Tough Act cleans soap scum better than any other bathroom cleaner. And it scours without scratching. So although I'm abrasive, Tough Act isn't. Try Tough Act because no bathroom cleaner works better on soap scum than this.
Tough Act. It's a tough act to follow.
Even tougher than me.
There's a new dance called the pizza maker. Rolling out the door like the round table baker. Come on, everybody, throw out your hands. Mixing red sauce like the round table man. Don't need to fake it, don't need to freeze. Come on, everybody, we're ready for cheese.
Sea breeze cleans so deep you feel it.
Beautiful skin can be a breeze with sea breeze.
Deep clean, so clean it tingles.
Beautiful skin can be a breeze with sea breeze.
No other clean feels quite like this.
From the people who brought you Le Menu dinners, something a little different. Elegant. Delicious. Prepared in the inimitable Le Menu style. New Le Menu entrees, elegant dishes that make a lunch, brunch, or any meal memorable, like Oriental-style chicken, New Le Menu entrees, lavish in taste without being lavish in size.
I don't know what I like best about Gorton's crunchy fish sticks and fillets, what goes into them or what doesn't. What goes into them is lots of mild, flaky white fish with a delicious crunch.
That's what I like, Mom.
What doesn't go into them is any preservatives, absolutely none.
Mom, can I have seconds?
With Gorton's, I really feel good about what they're eating and what they aren't.
Gorton's crunchy fish sticks and fillets. Absolutely no preservatives. And Mom, no leftovers.
Trust the Gorton's fishermen.
When it comes to cleaning the bathroom,
let us do your dirty work.
So you can make a clean getaway. Now bathroom cleaner with scrubbing bubbles.
Let us do your dirty work. Oh, you ain't got this thing if you ain't got that thing. Oh, you ain't got a thing if you ain't got that cling.
Handy Wrap 2 with Cling Plus has twice as much cling as old Handy Wrap, so it seals in freshness and flavor longer.
Let yourself feel how splendid you are with a rich, expressive fragrance created by Gloria Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt. Let it release the splendor of you. Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's gift of body shampoo, body spray, silk, and terry mid, free with any $11.50 Vanderbilt purchase. At Macy's.
Another brand eater. Yep. Hope you're hungry. Because it takes 4 bowls of all brand to get the vitamin nutrition in 1 bowl of Total.
He's been brand washed.
Total's a good source of bran fiber. Total also has 100% of 9 vitamins and iron. It takes 4 bowls of many brand cereals to get that. You could eat 4 bowls of fruit and fiber or 1 bowl of Total.
Think you missed the boat, Dad.
Total, 1 bowl, 100%.
Heath introduces a new soft and crunchy candy bar.
It's soft. It's crunchy.
Toffee tidbits covered with real milk chocolate. It's Heath's new soft and crunchy.
For a midday snack, you can't beat a Heath.
Heath's new soft and crunchy.
You can't beat a Heath.
I love the great taste of Heath, America's original toffee bar.
Rich English toffee covered with real milk chocolate.
For a quick pick-me-up, you can't beat a Heath.
America's original toffee bar.
You can't beat a Heath.
If you hate lines at the airport, skip them with advanced check-in from TWA.
Imagine just for a moment the future, a world where everything works. Oh, please. So perfect, even an inexpensive frozen entree could be prepared with astonishing skill.
How inexpensive?
Around $1.79. Introducing the Budget Gourmet, 12 expertly prepared new entrees. Sirloin tips with country vegetables, linguine with bay shrimp and clams marinara, and more. New Budget Gourmet.
I have tasted the future. It's around $1.79.
Do you know me? This may seem puzzling, but you know me by sight and by sound. You know my TVs, my stereos. But to be really wired in, I carry the American Express card. As a chairman of Sony, I expect great reception.
To apply for the card, look for an application and take one.
The American Express card, don't leave home without it.
Holy jeez. Listen. All right, I'm done. How's it going, y'all? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Thursday. I hope everybody's having a fantastic week. I hope that it's a weekend, this sunny weekend on the East Coast is going to be flourishing for all of you. I know I'm looking forward to it because this rain sucks. But all this weekend is going to suck. And then the following week, a lot of sunny. Yeah. So for all of you that are in the UK that are interested in my weather report here in the sunny United States, you're welcome. Anyway, it's good to see you guys. I hope everybody's doing okay. Yeah. I want to take a second real quick and what's up, Panda? How you doing, baby? I want to take a second real quick and thank everyone who has been joining me in going over the Gannon, or well, it is his case, but the Letitia Stout trial. That's a case that really got to me 3 years ago. I covered it as much as I could here. I bashed the tragedy pimps back then that were covering it. So far, I haven't really seen much of that as far as the trial, which is great. I'm really grateful for that. Because the thing is, the tragedy pimps don't know shit about the case. It's too old of a case. This case took 3 years to go to trial. So it's very interesting to see some people jumping on that bandwagon. But I'm not really focused on that too much. I am, like I said, I'm pretty grateful just for the people that have been showing up and going over the trial with me. That means a lot to me. It really does. And I know that there's a lot of you who found this channel because of the content that I do and reviewing like Battery Betty and people like her. And so so to go over to this crime stuff and have an open mind for it, that means a lot to me. So that's really awesome because I kind of like to have this. I'm real stubborn that way. I don't believe in just like covering just one area of things just because it's consistent and it'll get me more views based on the algorithm and blah 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 blah. I look at having a YouTube channel where I get up here and I speak my mind on things, and I do so at times very passionately, and it seems silly to just go over just some of the things that I'm passionate about in the sense that for the reasons that it's just going to get me more views or whatever. I realize that there's bigger creators covering the Gannon Stock or the Letitia Stock trial. And they're doing great doing it too. The people that have chosen to watch it with me, it means a lot. It really means a lot considering all of those variables. So, wow, man. Look at all of you in here, man. Thank you so much. What's up? Morbid's in the house. It's good to see you, buddy. I see Toast is in here too. And I see all of my usuals. Mike M, I can't do shout outs for everybody. I can do shout outs when I'm doing the Letitia Stock thing because only a few of you show up. But there's a lot of you guys here, so I can't give shout outs to everybody. But I see you all, and I see all the familiar people, and I'm grateful to all of you for being here. So thank you for being here. And tonight is just about having some fun. I want to talk about. Give me 1 second here. I want to talk about because I don't think I've really addressed it much. And there's the whole MGL losing her channel, right? That's great news. You know, I mean, I, I got a lot of comments. Well, not a lot, but a few comments. People that were, you know, when I was covering the trial and leaving comments saying, you know, what is this boring trial stuff? You know, go back to covering Betty and why haven't you talked about MGL's losing her channel and blah blah blah. Believe it or not, Lisa Hunt, thank you so much. My first live. Good to meet you all. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. Guys, even though I attract some following from the drama community, and I'm grateful for that. This is not a drama channel. I don't care what anybody tries to say. It's not, in the sense that I don't have back and forths and you know, ooh, I'm gonna clap back at this person. This person did this person did that. I'm not interested in that. I realize that there are people in the drama community. I realize there are people in the lolcow community that cover the same things that I cover as far as people that we review. And that's perfectly fine. But understand that my reasons for doing it are because I am and have always been very passionate about the true crime community here on YouTube. I'm a big fan of it. There are a lot of creators that I respect very much that cover these cases, and they do it with empathy. They care, and I think that there are people who there are YouTube creators who cover these crime cases that we call tragedy pimps, who do this just for the sake of exploiting, and they don't actually care about these victims. And ultimately, they're making also, besides all of the stuff that we generally talk about, besides that, they make good creators and creators that care about these cases and work really hard. They make them look bad, and to me, that's also something that just really bothers me. So, but make no mistake, I cover these people as it pertains to crime cases. Now, not specifically crime cases, but people who cover true crime, and they make our community look like a joke. And I realize I come up here and I clown and things of that nature, and you know, that's fine. I don't mind. As I was explaining to somebody today, I don't mind getting my clothes muddy, doing what I do. I realize that I'm not probably going to be taken that seriously as a true crime creator, whatever, because I come up here and I do these streams. But make no mistake, I find these streams to be extremely important. Just because nobody else in the true crime community will do them, I find them to be extremely important, because I care about how the community is viewed from the outside. That matters to me. Maybe it doesn't matter to the creators who are looking bad to the outside, because they get their support and they're happy with it. They're humble, and that's awesome. But it bothers me, because I do think that the true crime community on YouTube can actually do a lot of good. I do think that the things that Betty talks about saying that she does, which she doesn't, are things that can be good for the community. She just doesn't do them. And calling her out is my way of kind of cleaning up behind her. You know what I mean? Everybody has their reasons for going over these people that we go over, and that's awesome. You know, I'm a big fan of a lot of those. I watch these channels. I interact in their chats. It's great. Just understand, I have my own reasons for covering these things, and those reasons are the ones that I just explained to you, and it means a lot to me. So I don't do this for popularity necessarily. I want the popularity because the more people listen to me and see what I'm exposing and what these other channels are exposing, the more of a chance that people's standards are going to be higher for the content that they get on YouTube as far as crime cases go. And all I'm doing is showing the difference between the good guys and the bad guys. That's all I'm doing. You know, and in order to do that, I have to be entertaining, you know, and And it just so happens that it's very easy for me to find the humor in these things. And I'm always just laughing with you. But this is not the overall reasons for me to do this are not a joke to me. Not to imply that they're a joke to any of the other creators that cover these things. I'm saying that just because I make jokes and I make fun, it doesn't mean that I'm not very passionate about the things that I just explained to you. I don't like to see good creators have a bad name when they're, putting out very, very credible content. They have very credible people on their panels sometimes to explain things. I don't like when there are ex-cops who have YouTube channels and are making other ex-cops who have YouTube channels look bad because they see all this money to be made. And you can do that. You can be focused on the money. You could sit there and be like, hit the like, the donations help, blah, 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 but give the people what you're promising that you're going to give them. Don't lie because you think it's going to get you more views. Don't make shit up because you think it's going to get you more views. Don't paint a picture in a false narrative with a false narrative because you think it's going to get you more views. That's why I the difference between a creator like Chris McDonough and a creator like Mike King from Profiling Evil. Now, those two creators, they might actually like each other behind the scenes. None of my business. I'm talking about the content that they put out and the integrity that it either lacks or it has. And I see Chris McDonough consistently lacking in integrity, using the fact that he's former law enforcement. And then I see Mike King just using his experience in former law enforcement to state the facts and his opinion based on those facts and his experience as a criminal profiler, a career criminal profiler. So the difference between those two, just because you see somebody and they say, I'm former law enforcement, well, use your common sense. Would a law enforcement officer who's working the case currently approve of what Chris McDonough is doing with his content? Ask yourself that. Would someone who is in charge of finding a missing person, someone who's in charge of finding Summer Wells specifically, do you think that they think that Chris McDonough is doing anything to help with his channel? I seriously doubt it. So that's why I call bullshit on it. And I don't mind calling bullshit. And I'm always going to call bullshit. And I'm not trying to tell anybody else to have the same reasons that I have as to why they do this content or why they don't. But just because I interact and proudly and happily with creators who are doing the same content or who are covering the same subjects, but for different reasons, just because I'm doing it for different reasons, it doesn't mean that I am it doesn't mean that I am interested in the same things that they're always going to be interested in. Like now that MGL has lost her channel, great. Next. That was totally my attitude. I got multiple messages from people when it happened, and my reaction initially was, "What?" And then it was, "Next." Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And I can honestly tell you this, as I tweeted before, there's apparently a list. Okay, there's a list of creators that are on a mass reporting campaign, which I think is really funny because I can only speak for myself. I have never reported a channel. I have never told my audience to go and mass report somebody. I just don't do that. Right now, let's see, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I had consistently half of the people that I have in my chat right now. Now I have double that. And all that tells me is how I've been doing this, because all the time, this is what always happens with this channel. I may not blow up overnight. I may not have more subscribers than somebody who got a bunch more subscribers the other night. I am very, very, very happy and at peace that the way that I have chosen to run my channel for the past 4 years has always been consistent. And the results have been consistent too. My channel grows at a very, very easy pace, but it is always growing. Make no mistake about that. It is always growing. And I am unbelievably grateful for that. And what that tells me is that I'm doing things the way that things are happening the way that I wanted them to happen, based on the way that I have consciously chosen to run my channel. And all I've done is simply apply integrity and not faltered from it. Now, I wasn't always Mr. Integrity because I didn't really know how YouTube works. But as soon as this one incident happened, I was like, what? Wait. And it caused me to just look at everything, every little thing. And then I made a decision right then and there that I was going to run my channel a certain way. That was 4 years ago. And I'm very, very content with how with the results that have come with how I run this channel. So, when it comes to, like I said, a channel like the same thing happened, you didn't see me jump on here and have this Ding Dong the Witch is Dead stream on Canceled Karen when her channel got taken. There were people that were like, dude, I can't wait to hear what the Glare has to say about her losing her channel. I didn't get up here and start celebrating. And that was somebody that I looked at one point as somebody that I owed. Like I got a taste of speaking to a chat and interacting with a chat from a panel from Canceled Karen. She's the one who she bought me my first mic. She Venmoed me the money to buy this little snowball mic, the first mic that a bunch of people use. And I used that thing. I got it at Best Buy, and I was real. And at me being naive and always wanting to see the best in people, I looked at that as a kind gesture. It was not. It was a very selfish gesture because she was looking for a male counterpart to have on her channel on a regular basis, not as the content of her channel, but she wanted to have a regular thing with a male counterpart, and it was all for content. And that's fine, great. But when I realized that she was doing things behind the scenes, and once I got access to those behind the scenes antics, I couldn't relate to anyone there. It was very, very strange. And then I engaged in some of the behavior that they were engaging in. I never doxed anybody or did anything like that, but I potentially did something much worse, and I caught it before it became a problem. And the only reason anybody knows about it is because I told them about it, because nobody would have ever known, because I fixed it before it became a broken issue. It never happened as far as anybody was concerned. But I caught it, and then I told this private chat about it. And then as soon as I turned on Canceled Karen, then that got turned around on me. And then I was like, And then, of course, years later, things happen. And then I did my live stream about her. And she, you see the receipts, basically. But if you expected me to have a celebration stream about MGL losing her channels. Sorry, no. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in a battle, you know what I mean? If you're in a battle, and it's a battlefield full of people, you know what I mean? Full of soldiers, full of warriors, you know, and one of them goes down. Do you stand there and dance over them, or do you move forward? Do you advance and then go for the next? Because the reason why I brought up all of the stuff about my channel and its growth and the way that I do things is because I truly believe. Now, mass reporting, that's fine, whatever. That's, if you choose to do that, that's on you. But I truly believe, and I have no reason to believe otherwise, that simply exposing them for what they are is much more effective. Because, I mean, how consistent has YouTube been? You know, you want people to come along and make rules and you know, enforce these rules and blah blah blah. But what's funny is nobody's really looking at themselves when they're doing that. Because if I start, because that, I can only speak for myself. To, you know, specifically, I can only speak for myself. That is that I'd be a hypocrite. I'd be a hypocrite if I reported these channels, because, I mean, all of us at some point or another, we're in violation of TOS as well. We are. You know what I mean? That's to some degree. Nobody here is completely free of having that red A on them for having broken the rules on YouTube. Everyone has. I'll probably break TOS 3 or 4 times throughout this stream because I drop F-bombs. You know, but the glare exposing them leaves a trail of evidence for new people who come along not knowing the history of these people. Exactly. That is a perfect example as to why this is, in my opinion, much more effective. Patty, thank you so much. I appreciate your honesty, compassion, integrity, and humor. You're a keeper. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, you can, when you mass, I just look at it like when you mass report people, what happens when you're in kindergarten? Okay. What happens when you're in kindergarten and then you got a group of people, a group of kids over here, tattletaling on the other group of kids over here. And then bear with me. And then the other group of kids is like, that group of kids is lying. And then they're saying, no, that other group of kids is lying. What's the kindergarten teacher going to do? The kindergarten teacher is going to go, all right, everybody sit down. Everybody's privileges are taken away. You guys obviously can't seem to handle it. So if you want YouTube to come look at the trauma community, which shouldn't exist, I do believe that you should not be mixing drama with crime. That's another reason why I talk about these channels, because it's ridiculous. It makes it all, it complicates everything. MGL was a huge win for YouTube to take her off of YouTube because MGL directly got involved with these cases. She inserted herself in people's lives who are potentially witnesses, who are potentially suspects. She did everything wrong, and she did it for the sake of putting money in her pocket. And the thing is about these people, these are not celebrities. Celebrities have publicists and things of that nature. So this is why it's so bottom feeding and gross to sit here and contact these victims in these situations, in these horrible crimes. The reason why it's so fucking gross is because these are people who, to some degree, in some cases, are just as famous as any other famous celebrity out there. The difference is that they didn't sign up for it. So they don't know how to be celebrities. Because if MGL were to go out and contact Brad Pitt, right, she'd have to go through fucking layers of people to legitimize herself to being worth Brad's time. And she wouldn't even get past the first layer. You see what I'm saying? But somebody who is just a regular Joe, like any of you, who something just randomly terrible happened to, out of nowhere, who doesn't know how to handle it, they're much more vulnerable to somebody on YouTube's manipulation to contact them and going, I have a platform and I have all these people who listen. I have all these people who care. And all you have to do is just come and talk to me. All you have to do is come and talk to me on my channel. I'll be respectful. It'll be good. Don't you worry, blah, blah, blah. These people are in the most vulnerable position emotionally and psychologically that anybody could be in. And a lot of them they live in rural areas. You know, they don't see a lot of people. They don't differentiate YouTube from being television. So, oh my God, I'm going to be on TV kind of attitude. And MGL takes advantage of that. Why? Because she's somebody who just wants to be on TV. At the end of the day, that's all MGL is. Think about that for a second. Because especially now that she doesn't have a YouTube channel, that's all she is. She's just another one of the same people that are in her chat all day with nothing better to do than to think about somebody else's fucking life as a way to disconnect from their own. There's a whole subculture of people out there like that. And MGL's just one of them. She always has been. Somebody who just sits around and thinks that she's entitled to fame. One of these days, just sitting there, stuffing her fucking face with shit food and going, one of these days, it'll be my day. And she's willing to exploit and step on regular people. You know? That's why I see her. I don't see her as this superpower fucking villain, you know? To me, she's exactly where she always was. You just can't fucking see her now. Period. That's why I'm not like, woo, MGL's gone. Yes. You know, like, I'm like, that's it. She's just another person that's in her chat, sitting around with nothing better to do with her fucking life. A fucking nobody, dreaming of being famous, and just scrapes the bottom by exploiting people who are going through the worst thing they could ever think of in their lives, because she saw it as a way to go. Like a cockroach finding a little crevice to get into your house. Or a mouse. That's all it is. Somebody robbed of sun, and then like a little cockroach just, you know, managed to make their way to that crumb, and that crumb being on YouTube and getting people to give her money. And that little crevice is someone's tragedy. And none of these people are any different. Bullhorn Betty ain't nothing but somebody who sits around hating her fucking life, already over the hill, never got married, never couldn't keep a husband, couldn't have kids for whatever reason. And now she decides to care in everybody. She's no different than the widowed 90-year-old lady in your neighborhood that you sit there and go, fuck, this lady again? God damn it. The old lady that keeps your fucking kid's ball if you hit her door with it. I keep it now. Like that lady in Saturday Night Live. I keep it now. It's mine. I keep it now. That's all she is. And y'all making her out to be like she's this evil, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, is she capable of being very dangerous and doing the things that she's doing? Is she capable by doing those things of really costing somebody justice and really fucking with somebody's life? Absolutely, sure. Yes, she's a total piece of shit. Don't get me wrong. But when you treat her like she's like the threat to the world and our society, like, calm down. Just calm down for a second, because all she is a Karen. She's a Karen who doesn't take no for an answer. She's a Karen who out Karens Karens. You know? Like, that's not something to look this way at. It's something to look this way at and go, yo, seriously? Are you serious right now? You know what I mean? Like, so don't, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, is eventually they're gonna fuck with the wrong person, and YouTube is eventually going to look over their content. Because, I mean, think about all of the shit that MGL did, right? Think about all of the horrible things that we've talked about and reviewed, right? Think about all that stuff. And then what happened? What did it? Team Brittany gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. Congrats to Stacy's so-called life. Molly's Machines, Graveyard Flowers, Hugh Janus, James Blonde 007 or 777. Yeah. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much. Team Brittany, appreciate that. Damn it, I knew I was gonna lose my train of thought. Anyway. I don't know. I just don't. I refuse to look at these people like they're you know, like there's some sort of superpower. Oh yeah, okay, I remember what I was talking about. So, I mean, look what it took, right? After all the shit that MGL did, everything that she did, like, what got her booted off of YouTube? Her showing somebody's ID. Hasn't she done that shit before, or something to the effect of? Like, because if I had to guess, all that happened was showing an ID on camera triggers some sort of fucking mechanism in the YouTube bots or whatever, and they were like, boop, we got to look at this lady. Let's remove her content. Let's see what she's doing. Is she violating people's privacy? We need to get her the fuck out of here. She's good. We need to get her channel off of here. Because here's the thing. Sorry, I had to get my coffee for this. What people tend to forget, what does YouTube say every single time that you get an email from them? What do they mention? They mention a partnership, quote unquote, right? YouTube partnership, because technically, and it's more importantly, legally, that's what that is, a partnership. So what happens is, if there is a partnership, they fear any liability. YouTube does not want to get sued by some family who had their lives turned upside down by a bunch of YouTube bullies. You know what I mean? But they also don't want to pay labor costs and have people under their employ 24/7 to where you can call them and complain. There are literally billions of users on YouTube. Well, millions. I mean, possibly at least close to the billions, at least. I don't know. I'm not good with numbers, but I would assume so, because I feel like everybody with any form of modern technology device in their hands or in their home has access to YouTube at this point. So there are a vast amount of YouTube users. But I am personally the Glarer. This channel is in a partnership with YouTube. That means I generate money that they put in their pocket. And all they have to do is provide me with the platform. Everything else is completely up to me. The way it looks, all of that stuff, the way I deliver the content I choose to use to cover, the way I deliver it, all of that completely up to me. YouTube provides me with a platform, and I pay them 30% of whatever I make off of it. That's it. And I think that's fair. But make no mistake, YouTube sees people doing YouTube was in a partnership with MGL. MGL totally violated someone's privacy. They happened to catch it at that moment. That was enough for YouTube to go, we don't want to be partners with somebody like that. Get out of here. Nope. That's all it takes. But the thing is you could report them and report them and report them and report them, but mostly they're going to focus on the monetary aspect of how they're benefiting. I mean, when you think about it, so if they have a steady 30% of all the shit that MGL, who fucking lived on YouTube, was making, then they're going to probably keep an eye on her until she does something that just goes, that's it. We got to get her out of here. But the problem is I don't think that they have enough manpower, and they're more focused on the revenue that they make than they are actually getting. I mean, because if they booted everybody off of YouTube who violated TOS, I mean, they would lose tons of money. But at the same time, like I said, YouTube does not want to be in partnership with people who exploit victims. You know what I mean? YouTube does not want that. Shay B, just trying to screw up Will's train of thought. Thank you. Yeah, I knew I missed one. So that is my long explanation as to why I have not done a stream on MGL losing her. This is about as close to a stream of MGL losing her channel as you're going to get. Like I said, next, that's just how I see it. I don't know how else to explain it. So the last couple of days, BHB has been going live, streaming the Gannon stock, or again, the Letitia stock trial. And I know she wasn't following crime cases back then. I know she wasn't. I put up a community post. You guys, I'm not going to read it. You guys can go and reference that. A lot of people read it and commented on it. And that still stands. Because I'm even willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. Betty, if you know that much about, because I haven't seen you add any real insight to this case. You just stream it and then take off. And this is why. This is not the tragedy pimp thing with that is clearly obvious. It's clearly obvious. But another reason why that is shitty is because there are people who really care and follow the case. I have interacted with Landon Hyatt. When you actually interact with one of these victims, it changes your whole perspective, and it should. But there's the risk of them talking to somebody like you, and they won't, because it does happen all the time. But I all of my efforts for covering that trial are out of pure empathy for this family. There's so much about Gannon that reminds me of myself at his age. There's a lot about him that remind me of my own kids. There's just kids that I grew up with. Gannon is just he was well, I believe his soul lives on, so I'll say he is a beautiful soul. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is about his case that really made me feel connected to it. And I took it really personally. So when I see somebody like me, I can't speak for the other creators, but when I see somebody who is, even though this behavior is expected of Betty, it's still disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, when I see somebody who I know is only streaming the trial because she saw that all these other true crime channels were streaming it, it's insulting. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of us have not only, even the ones who haven't followed the case for 3 years, they still did their research. And they still did their due diligence to provide their audience with all the facts so that they can give a passionate and genuine, heartfelt opinion on these facts. And then somebody like you comes along and just spits in everybody's face. That's what I mean by making everybody look bad. You know what I mean? Because here you are, and you've just stolen popularity by being a shitbag. And so now the reason that people are looking at you is because you have conducted yourself as a shitbag since you started on YouTube. And for you to cover something that we're all so passionate about is just shitty. At least unless you actually do your due diligence and actually do the research and actually engage with your audience, giving detailed opinions based on detailed facts, not just hearing a dramatic phone call on in a courtroom. It's just sad. You know what I mean? Like, but it's also kind of infuriating.
Danger coming after JLR. He's a guy. But my instincts just kicked in gear, and I just positioned myself in front of Jonathan and that crazy lunatic that wanted to knock his lights off for knocking on his front door to ask about Brian Laundrie. It was insane. And not only that, but it was the neighbors across the street that actually told us this guy might have some information. You may want to go knock on his door. So I had the clipboard in my hand. Jonathan had nothing. So I figured if that guy stepped up.
What she's talking about is an incident. We've all seen the footage. What she's talking about is an incident that took place where they went and knocked on some neighbor's door, and that neighbor, and this is the first case. This is Gabby Petito. So she goes and she knocks on some neighbor's door who's already annoyed with the fact that there are a bunch of people camped out in front of his house, in front of the laundry house, but also in front of his house, making traffic a bitch in a residential area. He had nothing to do with nothing. This guy's just trying to live his life. He's trying to go to and from work every day. That's all he wants to do. He wants to live his fucking quiet suburban life that he worked his ass off his whole life to be able to achieve. And so you've got this idiot and a bunch like her camped out in front of his house making all this fucking noise. And then you've got this idiot in JLR deciding we're going to knock on this dude's door. And so the guy fucking went off on him. Get the fuck out of here. Leave me the fuck alone, you fucking vultures. Get the fuck out of here. Rightfully so. And here she is acting like she's the victim in the situation.
I was going to put that clipboard right in his throat. But that was just instinctual. It's not that I'm getting in between, I'm not thinking I'm getting in between two grown men that are about to, duke it out in the middle of a freaking street. I wasn't even thinking about that. I saw an issue. And my body just, whether I thought about it or not, just put myself in between them. So I kind of understood what he was saying when he was asking her, so you just let him take Gannon. And it was just heartbreaking, just hearing all these stories of how manipulative she was and how she was trying to play on his emotions about they were going to kill me. They were going to kill me. But then you turn around and look at this interview that she had literally the day before. And it was all about her, how people got it wrong. And she can't believe they're coming out against her and da-da-da-da. Nothing about Gannon. Nothing about where he was. Definitely.
You mean like every single time you talk about a so-called victim, right? Every time there's a victim in a situation and you say you're going to cover it, somehow the conversation becomes about you. You mean like that? I mean, you didn't kill a kid that we know of, but that was when JLR was peeping in the guy's windows and recording while a teen boy was inside. That was why the guy was angry. The boy called his dad, came home and caught JLR. That's right. Okay. Thank you, Toast. Yeah, like these people, and they think that they're entitled to being able to, they think that making fake press passes entitles them to be able to peep through people's fucking windows. What?
Definitely not this story that she concocted to try to save her butt and told her her husband she was cool as a cucumber. And what's most despicable about it is she goes and brings her daughter in to talk to the news guys, to lie for her, to convince the world that she did not do this. And we now know, hindsight's 2020, she is accused of it. And this is probably as close to a slam dunk case as I've seen in a really, really long time. I mean, it's overwhelming evidence. We're only day 3 in the trial. We haven't even got like.
You know what's annoying is she's using a lot of the same terms that I've been using. That's so fucking annoying. Like, if you go back and watch my coverage of this shit, she's using a lot of it's almost like she listened to 5 minutes of me and then decided to talk about it for 5 minutes on her channel and then fucking move on.
Like, I bet you if you polled that jury right now, they can stop the trial. Like, there's no way they cannot, just based on the information already, meet to get to that, guilty. We did a poll.
Mistaken Reaper, thank you so much. The trial made me tear up yesterday and walk away. Yeah, it's a bitch, man. It's tough. It's tough. Hearing her, because I mean, you got to understand, there's so many of us that have known for 3 years that this recorded conversation took place. And I wasn't even anxious to hear it. I just realized when I was watching the trial and streaming the trial, I was like, oh shit, this is the conversation that was recorded. Of course, he's going to testify on this.
In our chat yesterday, almost 300 people took the poll, and 96% of our audience here on the Bullhorn Betty channel that was watching that trial believe that she is guilty.
Dude.
And we were only on.
Bro, of course. 96. First of all, if we're talking about your audience, that doesn't mean shit, because 96% of your audience would think anybody was fucking guilty. Your audience wants people to get arrested before there's even any evidence to get a conviction. So I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about right now. Like 96% of your audience would say anybody was guilty.
On day 3. So I know that many of you, we have almost 300 people in the chat. Don't forget to hit the like button as you are coming in. If you haven't liked it, please go out and like this right now. We should have 300 likes on here, because we are going to be diving into the claims that were made by Chris Como on News Nation. And we're going to be utilizing some of the clips from News Nation as commentary, criticism, and newsworthy content for this particular segment of the Bullhorn Betty channel. So what is being said is that, well, let me just go through this. Let me just go get you how we got here. Please like the stream. Thanks, Vape King. You're so sweet. And I see Kitty Cats is in the house. K in Maine, M Beach.
It's so nice for Betty to have hit the like right there, just real big on my channel. Thanks, Betty. Appreciate that for modding for me.
South Carolina. It's nice to see you as well. I'm seeing you guys come in. Don't forget to hit the like button as you come in. But getting back, before we get started on here, we're getting back to the bullhorn. So I walk into the house after listening to this. I go ahead and set up the computer, set up the live, and I hear I'm getting in because the office is still not back together. I didn't want to set it up in the living room. You know, I was exhausted. I wanted to kind of put my feet up, relax on some pillows like I am right now. And so I set everything up in office, which is this one, right? The doorbell rings. I'm like, okay, the neighbor must be coming over to give me an update and tell me that, you know, the house is fine and everything like that, because he watches the house when I'm gone, brings in my mail and everything like that.
Can you imagine that conversation? Like, can you imagine that? The neighbor that house sits more or less, keeps an eye on the house. Like, that conversation is probably like an hour longer than it needs to be, talking about, I'm on YouTube and I'm famous and I do all this and blah, 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 blah. And the dude's just like, so you want me to just pick up your mail or what? Yeah. You know, like, yeah, if I see something, I'll call somebody. What do you want? I don't need to know all that. I don't give a fuck.
That. And so I thought it was him. And as I'm out there, you know, this UPS truck is driving by, and I'm like, oh, okay. I look down and there's a box, and I'm just scratching my head. I'm like, what in the world did I order? And I've done this before where I've ordered something before I left. I went to an event and I forgot I ordered it. I come home and it's here, and I'm like, what did I order? I opened it up and it's something I ordered. And it's like, oh yeah, I forgot all about that, right? Well, I opened this one up, and the first thing I see is a package that says Mama Bullhorn. And I can tell it's a shirt. And I can tell just by the little label who.
That shit looks so fucking.
It says Mama Bull.
That shit looks nefarious as fuck. That's just fucking. There's no address on that shit. There's just fucking. Hey, guy who's watching the house, you're not doing a real great job, okay? just saying, because this right here is evidence. It's not necessarily proof. I mean, you know, like overall of everything, but it's a piece of evidence that dictates that she doesn't even believe her own bullshit necessarily. Not all of it. Because, I mean, if you are so afraid for your life and all of these people are stalking you and all of these people are riding by your house and you're so fucking worried about it, and then some rando that you didn't even get to fucking see leaves that at your doorstep and takes off. Okay. Now she says she saw a UPS truck. Okay, great. But and there's probably an address on the other side. I'm just being a dick. But that shit still would freak me the fuck out. That would freak me out. If I had a package with my fucking channel name on it in front of my house, I would freak the fuck out. I would immediately call law enforcement. I would be like, listen, it's probably nothing, okay? But nobody should know where the fuck I live. Like, there's no handwriting. You know what I mean? Like, that would freak me out. So, Betty, this bullshit about you being so fucking scared for your life, blah, 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 get the fuck out of my face.
Bullhorn. and I could tell it's a shirt. And I could tell just by the little label who it's from. I don't know how, but I always can tell Sonia's work. So I see the Mama Bullhorn, and then under it.
Bro. Okay, before we get into the Bullhorn, just remember how Selena got killed. Okay? Y'all just remember how Selena got killed. Hack Up Party of 6, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna take a stab in the dark, and I'm gonna assume that Betty's hardcore followers are probably not the most emotionally stable people on the planet. I'm just going to assume that. I'm not saying every single one of them are. I'm just saying what we're looking at right here, and anybody who connects on a deep level with this person, who says this person is speaking exactly what I'm thinking, they're probably fucked up. So, yeah, hold on. Her ambiguous darkness gifted 5 memberships. Congrats to Mama Schmida. Catherine 662, PayPal me, Lisa Maxwell, Jess, and Toast. Welcome, guys. Congrats. Now, the Bullhorn, okay? Like, here's the thing about that. Even though I'm making all these jokes about, you know, she should be fucking worried and not just go and open packages, I'm thinking, like, this is actually a nice gesture. This person put a lot of thought. I am not going to insult this person for making this thing, because, I mean, look at it, dude. We're fair here at the Glare, people. All right. Like, this is a very, very kind gesture, and they put a lot of time and effort into that to make it look the way it does. Stop it with it looks ghastly. Stop it. I'm saying, if you just focus on the effort put into it, it's a nice gesture, man. It's a nice gesture. It really is, you know? But it makes me feel so bad. It makes me feel so bad for the people that like people like the person who made this, because she just takes advantage of them. This is somebody who, based on that token of effort, really believes in Betty and what she says she's doing. And I want to be clear, because I posted a comment and people said really nice things. It wasn't the reason why I posted it, because they said nice things about my channel, even though I was really grateful for those nice things. But it was the point that these people, what it was an effect of Toast. Thank you so much. Her flower is now bejeweled. It's not being used anyway, so it's great upcycle idea. So even though that was really nice, you know, the point of it was kind of to explain what I was explaining before, how effective just playing the slow game goes, you know, just going over this stuff and showing it and it picking up and catching on, and then people just seeing her for what she's doing. I don't want to take her channel from her. You know what I mean? I don't care, you know, that she has a channel. That's, you know, I don't care that she wants to express her First Amendment rights. I care that she victimizes people. And the best possible scenario is not that she gets her channel taken away. For me, the best case scenario is that she realizes, after losing so much viewership and realizing what kind of viewership she actually now has, it will force her to change her content. I'll take it if she's too proud to fucking apologize to people and say, I've been doing this fucking wrong and blah, blah, blah. Doesn't mean I'll become a fan. Fuck no. But if she's not doing anything that merits my reviewing of her, then I'm not going to review her. Because right now, there's some of you that are thinking that I'm just going to be talking about and making fun of this bullhorn and blah, 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 and making jokes. No, I'm going to be doing that. But beyond that, she goes into talking about another case, a case that she's been talking about. And that is my interest. But again, the best case scenario is that she realizes that her viewership is fucked. People see her for what she is, and then she changes her content. I don't care if it's driven for clicks and views. I care that she victimizes people to get those clicks and views. It's all I care about. Make no mistake about that.
Is a blinged out bullhorn Sonia made to me. This was made 100% love. You can never get this because she literally did this. She's been working on this since December. Because if you remember, Dolly jokingly said, "Be fearless." Stuff inside here. And it works. And it works. It works pretty darn good. And it's got a light on it. And a siren. So Bullhorn Betty is going to be going to the next protest in style. Isn't that awesome? So this was beautiful. This I found out that she made by hand, and she has been working on this.
What do you mean? Like, of course she made it by hand, bro. Like, what do you think? Like, she went and had it printed. Dude, that's got Michael's written all over it. You know what I mean? And like, not to insult it, I'm saying it's fucking handmade. Of course it's handmade. It's clearly handmade.
Literally since December. But that's not it. Look what she has on here. Tell me that is not fitting. That is not fitting. What a great job she did. But it didn't stop there. It didn't stop there. Now you guys know. What a great job. Tell me that is not fitting.
Coffee cup.
That is not fitting. What a great job she did. But it didn't stop there. It didn't stop there. Now you guys know this here. This right here was 100% made with love. Made with absolute love.
I mean, I can't just.
And if you guys remember, it all started because Dolly teased me and said he was going to get me a new bullhorn and he was going to bling it out. Remember that? Well, Dolly never sent me my blinged out bullhorn. And Sonia took it upon herself and has been working on it since December. What a sweetheart. And that's not it. Look at this. Be Fearless hat came in it. I like these hats. They're good quality hats. This one is more of the trucker style with the open back, but it's not foamy or anything like that. It's nice and it doesn't come down on your ears too much where it pushes your ears down. You know, some hats do that where they push your ears down. Your ears look
You are not a hat salesman.
Really funky. This is a good hat that just I love it. I love it. And then we have the official Wake Up. It's going to be a good day hat here. So I wanted you guys to see it. So when we do our raffles, because it was just exclusive for the t-shirts.
Now I looked into this. A lot of people are thinking, is it legal for her to do a raffle on YouTube? It actually is. She can. Now, as long as she follows certain rules. Now, is there a likelihood that she's going to break those rules? Yeah. But it's not illegal to run a raffle on YouTube. You absolutely can.
When we do the raffle, the hats are going to be part of the raffle. So you'll be able to purchase anything on the Bullhorn Betty line, whether it's a hat or a shirt. When we do that, we were going to go ahead and do the raffle, but I had computer issues. I couldn't make the thumbnail for the raffle. The one raffle has already went through. It made 0 because we didn't advertise it. But this is going to be a raffle that we do through a third party. It's going to help this channel. It's going to help raise money for this channel. And it's going to be, and you're going to get something.
Raffle.
In the end, there's going to be, I'm not sure if I'm going to if we're going to do 4 separate or 4 or 5 separate raffles, or if I'm going to do 2 raffles with 2 winners. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to quite do that yet. We'll see. I'm going to make that decision in the next week, but we're going to be trying to roll that out hopefully by Monday of next week. And that'll give us, I think from Monday to Friday, we'll do the raffle. And I like 50-50. Because then our audience, the members of our audience, I didn't know, is also on the raffle site. We can do 50-50. And I like 50-50. Because then our audience, the members of our audience, get 50% of the proceeds. So what does that mean? That means if we raise $100, one lucky winner will get $50 on the 50-50. So I thought, that would be a great way to raise money as well. And they have the ability to do that on this program. So, or on that third-party raffle site. So we'll be getting stuff rolled out, but I promise you, I know we've been talking about it for a while. We've had a lot of hiccups and stuff like that, but I think it'll be party soon, and we're going to go over there and start going out. So yesterday I started getting notifications by some of the audience members as well as my mods that there was going to be some breaking news coming out from Chris Como with News Nation.
Yeah, I find this whole thing really funny.
And so I'm thinking, I went straight to the docket. I'm thinking, there's no way that they could have additional information that I myself am unable to acquire in the media. I mean, granted, we don't have.
You know what a docket is, don't you? I mean, aren't you a lawyer?
The huge research teams that say News Nation has, or any other news organization. We're a very small channel. We are growing.
She's totally gonna.
We are moving stuff, up. I've dragged my butt on the website, and I still have to build the website.
Yeah, I don't like.
And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. But Sonia, when I build the website, I'd like a link. You might want to build yourself like maybe a 1-page website as well, because I'd like to have a link that people can go to when they're on my website over
she's
yours
partnering up
to look at some of your
people like this. When they partner up, we all seen how that goes. You know what I mean? Like, look at how this fucking hooves on the ground bullshit took place. Look at what that look what happened there. And I said it from the beginning, dude. I was like, this shit's totally gonna implode. I mean, it's when people like this, and it's for the same reason that I explained back then. When people like this, like with their little greedy mindsets, like get together, like they're gonna get, because they're greedy, they're gonna get at each other. They're gonna think somebody's trying to fuck them over, because if I were in their position, I would fuck them over. That's how they think. And then they just end up fucking each other over. Well, I'm gonna fuck them over before they have a chance to fuck me over. Happens all the time. It's just a matter of time.
Your shirts, hats, and stuff like that. But either way, that's in the future. So I received all this information that there's going to be this huge breaking news thing coming out of camp. Chris Como with News Nation, another person I don't really highly respect. I don't really a person that's not not normally I just don't like him. I just don't like him. I've caught him over the years. Many of you guys know I've caught him over the years.
Like him, y'all.
Lying about other things. He was not this
crimes under investigation. Thank you so much. I feel we all have a duty of care to everyone that is watching. Don't want to push others to the edge. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Thank you so much.
Commentator on News Nation once before. He was a politician, or worked at political, stuff. So I know his character. I've watched him for years. I know he doesn't mind lying. I know he's a violent person. He doesn't like somebody calling him Fredo without.
This is all really, really funny, because this is what fact. Betty considers herself a journalist, even though she's not. Fact, Betty thinks that News Nation is a real news source. Hooves on the ground, thank you so much. How did I get brought into this? Thank you so much. she thinks that News Nation is a wait, I'm muted right now. Hold on. Check, check, check. Hold on, let me refresh. Oh, wait. So you can hear me. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Thank you for letting me know. I find it really funny. She thinks that News Nation is actually a news source. News Nation is tabloid. Now, are they real reporters? Sure. Are they, because they're paid? Are they journalists? Absolutely. They're paid to investigate and write. But they're tabloid journalists. Hold on. They're paid to investigate and write. Yeah, I have sound. But they're tabloid journalists. Yeah, sound is coming through, guys. So I'm sorry if you're having trouble, if you're having issues. I'll refresh just to. Okay, let's see. I don't know. Is it better? Anyway, so yeah, if you can't hear me, refresh on your end. So anyways, guys, I don't find News Nation to be an actual news station. I'm not going to depend on News Nation for actual news. I'm always going to take what they say with a grain of salt. It's too opinionated. The people that that Ashley Banfield brings on and calls sources, I don't really rely on them. And this goes back to the Chris Watts days when that case was happening. She had some dude come forward that said he was Chris's gay lover. I mean, that's not news. If you're the only person giving this person a platform, then that's on you. I mean, if you're the only person giving this person a platform, that's tabloid shit. No credible news sources are going to cover that. Team Brittany, thank you so much. Reporting live from Bedhorn Betty, breaking Pillow Talk news. Oh, thank you so much. But no, there's no pillow talk happening in that bed. Like, ever. It's just not happening. So I find this really funny that she's so invested in oh my God, I can't stand this.
Wanting to knock the rubber lights out. I know Chris Como. Okay, I don't like him. And so when I hear these stories come out, the first thing I'm saying is, you know, okay, is he manipulating this story? Is this really truly a story? And where can I confirm his information? Where can I confirm it? And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Let me do some research this morning. And of course, that comes across Nerdy Addicts. So let me go ahead and pull this up for you guys so you guys can see it. I won't be able to read.
So Nerdy Addict is her is her reliable source on Twitter for information. Yeah, I don't like Nerdy Addict. Nerdy Addict is also ridiculous and helped push the narrative that Kylie Rodney was murdered when she wasn't, if I remember correctly.
I won't be able to read comments because now I'm on the screen that you see up there. So it's removed me from the StreamYard to what you're looking at here. So if you guys have any questions, you might want to hold them until I get back over there so that I see them. So I went here and I started looking through here and I'm like, okay, what other information? I come right down here and I'm like, okay, this is where I left it the last time. We've gone over literally everything on this docket for Brian Koberger. Nothing new. And then I see, you know, I come here to Nerdy Addicts Twitter page, and here he is. He's like, Chris Como Como is reporting that officials in Pennsylvania are investigating a potential involvement in other outstanding homicides as it relates to Brian Koberger. And I'm like, okay, well, we did know because we've covered it here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Listen to this. Almost a month ago, we reported this right here that officials in Pennsylvania are
idiot. Everyone with a trash channel jumped to the conclusion that this guy was a serial killer because it was a guess. Don't sit up here, Betty, and talk about how you predicted and you analyzed the situation and a month ago I said that there were other victims. No, you just threw mud at the wall to see what would stick. That's all you did. I don't know why you're sitting up here saying I said this a month ago. Every idiot who just jumps to conclusions and was talking about this case said that there were more victims when there weren't. Now, I'm not saying there aren't. I'm saying don't take credit for calling this shit when you were just taking a guess. And I love that she plays that. This is beautiful to me, by the way.
Investigating Brian Koberger and potential other homicides. So I go over to Chris Como and I say, okay, what is this all about? What is this all about? So let me go ahead. We're going to go back over here because now I'm going to pull up. So you guys have audio. We're going to be
not enough. Curious idea, but thank you so much. Not enough.
Here, and then I'll go ahead and okay. Hopefully it makes it big. Let's listen.
So we all know that right now, Brian Koberger is sitting in an Idaho prison, right? He's awaiting trial for the murders.
Yes, we do know that. Hold on, let me get this up to where I don't want to hear his commentary. Well, if you guys want to see his commentary, you can. So I'm not going to. This is what irritates me. I have, many of you guys know I've had utmost respect for Jennifer Coffindoffer. Now she is getting into newsworthiness. She, to me, seems disconnected from the FBI. She's all about being on TV now. She's all about, whatever she can do. And
she's a retired FBI agent, dude. The Mad Catter, thank you. If I'm being honest, never knew about BHB till you. I seek good channels. So are you not promoting real? Real question? I mean, yeah, everybody promotes. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know exactly what your question is and what the nature of it is, but I appreciate the super chat. Thank you.
She's been working overtime to help Ashley Banfield clean up her act with these confidential sources that never quite pan out.
How do you know that? What are you talking about? How do you know? What do you mean that this person has been working to clean up Ashley Banfield's act? Like what is going on in your brain, Betty? Where are you imagining a scenario where they're out like Thelma and Louise and this lady is like schooling Ashley Banfield and being like, sit up straight when you're eating. Jesus Christ. Can you make sure your seatbelt is on? Because I mean, if you no. Can you wipe your mouth? Please. That's not happening. Okay. This is a lady who they asked to be on the panel because there was a subject that they felt that her experience, based on her experience, she could offer insight. That's it. There's no scenario where she's there to like, and Cuomo, or Como, as you're putting it, tells this former FBI agent, we need you to come on to the channel because Ashley Banfield's just completely out of control. Can you just get her in line on the panel, please? What the fuck is going through Betty's brain? So
I'm really starting to question why Jennifer Coffindoffer is playing along with this stupid game other than just wanting to be on TV. I don't know if that's the truth, what's in her heart. That's just what I feel looking at.
How stupid are you, man? Like, there's this lady is likely paid to make these, excuse me. This lady is likely paid to make these appearances. You know what I mean? Like, she's likely paid to add her insight because this is a TV show. It's a fucking TV show. Like, at the end of the day, it's what it is. It's a TV show. It is designed to entertain. And she is a person with credible resources because she is a former FBI agent. So she can add insight. But you want to discredit her because she is not saying the things that are in line with your insane spitballing that you constantly do when it comes to these cases. And you have no idea what you're talking about. And then somebody who actually does know what they're talking about, you accuse them of just wanting to be on TV, which is incredibly rich coming from you. Little Miss Dog the Bounty Hunter extensions as you were trying to get on TV. Sitting in front of a bed like like you were auditioning for some cougar porn, some amateur cougar porn. It's so weird that you all did that, by the way. I cannot express that enough, how fucking weird that video was. I loved going over it with Morbid here because Morbid hadn't seen it. I was like, oh, dude, you haven't seen this? I cannot express enough because I'm not over it yet. Over the fact that you guys were sitting, like you dressed like you were trolling PTA meetings and put these weird non-matching extensions in your and said talking about how much you care about victims. Like, that shit blew my mind. And you did it in front of a bed. So fucking weird. The fact that you're talking about this like just wanting to be on TV is fucking laughable.
At this because we are going to go over more information related to this that's going to question this entire news segment from the Chris Como Show and News Nation yet again. And again, many of you guys know I am a Brian Entin fan. I think Brian Entin is one of the most nicest people. I know the quality of his work. When Brian Entin comes on here and says something, I don't fact find.
The delusion is just so funny to me. Brian Entin, the narrative in that piece in Vanity Fair where Brian Entin was put on the spot to discuss Bullhorn Betty, he declined to say anything and was very clear and said it in jest, but still said it. I don't want her showing up to my house with a bullhorn. That was funny because it's true. That's all. Like, the only reason that was funny was because it's true. He was scared of you showing up to his house with a bullhorn, so he was not going to trash you on Vanity Fair. That it's not that he wasn't about to do that. And for you to be like, I love Brian Entin, I'm a fan, because he said hi. Actually, he didn't even just Bullhorn Betty. Yeah. Okay.
I look into the details, but he's very transparent. And so it's very easy to know that he is being truthful and forthcoming with his investigation.
If he's so transparent and forthcoming, and you know this about him, and he was so transparent and forthcoming about how he feels about you, in Vanity Fair. How are you not? What does that mean coming from you? That he's forthcoming. You see him to be forthcoming, yet you managed to completely dismiss the fact that this guy on a national level just shunned you.
People, these other headliners like Ashley Banfield and Chris Como, they have a horrible, horrible track record of just trying to be newsworthy without providing context or facts. So let's go ahead and listen to
Jennifer.
I don't disagree with that, but Brian Etten's doing the same fucking thing. Why is she separating Brian Etten from the entity, no pun intended, that is News Nation? He works for News Nation. The producers are the ones that approve what goes out there. You think that any of these people are anything that they say isn't approved first by higher ups, more than just one? I mean, or even there's a director. You know what I mean? This is a TV show. And I'm not saying that Brian Etten's not a nice guy. And I'm not saying that Ashley Banfield's not a nice lady. You know what I mean? Like, I'm saying they're running a TV show. The truth is a distant second. When it's a tabloid news station like News Nation is, sorry, but it's true. When you're running, when you're working on a tabloid news station, the truth is a distant second to entertainment. Period. So for her to just act all shocked because she's looking at them like they're the source for information, then that's you'll never ever see me be like, oh my God, News Nation, this is it. This is the truth. I might say News Nation said this or that, but I'll be like, but it's News Nation. You'll always hear me do that. You know, if it's the Sun, I'll be like, but it's the Sun. If it's the Daily Mail, I'll be like, but it's the Daily Mail. You know what I mean? I don't sit here and be like, oh my God, I just saw it and online. It's got to be true. It's my news. No, bro. Like, I'm going to look at collectively different news sources, assessments of a case that I'm following, and then I'm going to take the facts from that. I carefully look at what can be confirmed, what can't be confirmed. I might repeat something that can't be confirmed, but I will say that it is not confirmed. I'll be very clear about that. And it's not hard to do. But to sit here and act like you're disappointed in News Nation because they've done exactly what they've always fucking done? What are you talking about?
Coffindaffer and high-profile trial attorney Mark Garagos. Counselor, you had heard similar to what I just reported, yes?
Yes, I have heard similar. And
just to let you know, I have heard similar as well. But let me put back into this. I heard similar as well a month ago. A month ago. Therefore, this is not new information. And
it is new. It is new information. It's absolutely new information. And it's not even necessarily verified because, like I said, I got to hear more than just News Nation talking about it. I need to hear the other dozens of credible news sources that have been covering this case confirm that before I take it as fact. So she's already taking this as fact. And she's pissed off because she didn't get credit for it for saying it a month ago, when every other asshole with a YouTube channel said that there were more victims without having any information to base that on. Just simply a lack of motive, which is clearly not enough.
We are going to, they are trying to allege that it is potential that he is involved with these cases. And we're going to go over to Pennsylvania and see what Pennsylvania has to say as well. This is a way for clicks and views. This is the kind of crap I do not like coming from.
Notice how she said, will be going over to Pennsylvania and then follows it up with, this is for clicks and views. Talking about a TV station, okay? Not a YouTube channel, because they don't look for clicks and views. What they want is sponsorship. They want sponsorship and they want viewership so that they get more sponsorship. That's it. That's what a TV station does. Anybody with a brain who's an adult knows that you're not watching TV shows with commercials. You're watching commercials with TV shows, because without the commercials, without the companies that fund those commercials, without the companies that are being advertised in those commercials, you wouldn't have a TV show to watch because they pay for them. That's where the money comes from. It always has. News Nation was brought to you by Nabisco Bing. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's really funny to me that she doesn't seem to understand this, even though she's a journalist.
News Nation. I don't like this coming from him, but let's just keep going on. You make your own assumptions and speculative after we get all the facts from this, so we can discuss it.
Not just in this case, but virtually every high-profile case that is a circumstantial murder case, evidence murder case, you almost inevitably hear of some other unsolved murder, and law enforcement looks to see if they can link whoever the suspect is.
And why that is?
Well, for one thing, I suppose it fills a vacuum. Why did somebody do this when you don't have a motive? That is the most obvious, excuse me, explanation. Thank you. And also, you know, the cynic in me, the defense lawyer in me, always suspects that it's a way to dirty somebody up. I mean,
so now there's
okay. This guy is he's an experienced defense attorney. Okay, he's an experienced defense attorney, and he's being brought up onto a panel because he's an expert. He knows his insight matters in this subject. Okay, and he is speaking on things regarding the law. Very, very simple. Okay, so what he's doing right here, he's explaining, since all of what we know, because he's not representing Brian Kohberger, so he knows as much as we do. And as much as we do know, Brian Kohberger only has circumstantial evidence against him right now. He doesn't have any solid evidence against him yet. Nothing that we know is solid. He has a chance to beat the charges against him. As scary as that is, because I do believe him to be guilty. Personally, that's just my personal opinion. But this guy is talking as a lawyer and basically saying, and he's talking based on the facts and talking only on what he can talk on. He's saying, well, since the evidence is only circumstantial, then what we're going to do, what they would do is basically try to tack on anything that they can. Put this guy away with whatever they can put him away for. So to say that there's other victims, okay. Yeah, Laurette, that's another conversation. That DNA is also circumstantial. Sorry. It's also circumstantial, because that could be disputed as to how the DNA got there. It could be disputed how the knife sheath got there. There's all it takes is for a defense attorney to create the doubt in one juror that says, hey, there was a party house. He was drunk, dropped it 2 nights before that. You know what I mean? So yes, that evidence is absolutely circumstantial. You know, the DNA is undeniable, but whether or not it's enough to convict him for a quadruple murder, that's a different story. Not saying it isn't. And lawyer Mystery Maven, she is an attorney, so she says there is so much more with that DNA. She's an attorney. She knows better than I would. So, but yeah, I all I'm saying is based on what this guy is saying. who knows more than Betty does. He's explaining and speculating what the defense is thinking. That's all he's doing, and that's all he's there to do.
They're saying it's not for investigative purposes. It's just to sully his name more so than not. I mean, you got an animal that killed 4 innocent people in Idaho, but somehow they think this is a nasty tactic to sully this upstanding criminology major's reputation.
See, this is how I know that Betty has no experience in the law. This is how I know. Okay, because here she is, and she's taking this personally. She's sitting here going, oh, well, you know, how dare this guy sit here and say that they're just trying to sully this guy's name, and they're just trying to attack him and blah, blah, blah. No, what he's saying is it's a defense, it's a prosecution tactic. It's the prosecutor's job to make the defendant less likable to the jury. It's fucking common sense. Common sense. So by what he's saying is, by sullying his name, he's not saying, oh my God, this poor guy. He's not defending Brian Kohberger. He's not saying this poor man is being wrongly accused. He's not even implying that. He's simply saying that it could be a tactic from the prosecution to make him less likable to a jury. That's all he's saying. If you knew anything about the laws you claim to do, then you would put 2 and 2 together that the guy's an attorney, and that's what he's here for, is to explain that. Tracy, member for 3 months. Welcome to Logic. Great fun and common sense for 3 months. Love it. Right on. Thank you.
That was just, to me, absurd. Absolutely absurd. Again, I'm using this content for commentary and criticism purposes. Again, absurd. I don't agree with this, and we're going to just stick with me, guys, because we are going to get to the fact.
She's worried about News Nation striking her. This is how she takes it so personally. See, I only worry about someone striking me if I'm violating terms of service. Otherwise, I wouldn't even think about it. I don't give a fuck if somebody doesn't like that I'm using their content to comment, or I don't need to explain that. You know what I mean? I don't need to say it out loud in case YouTube's watching. That's totally what she's doing right here, which is pathetic. Like, yeah, nobody's disputing that you can go over that and explain and express your opinions, even though your opinions are ridiculous.
Finding of this particular report in just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
You know, if there's any doubt as to the presumption of innocence, all you got to do is throw in the fact that he's also suspected of homicides that occurred in some other jurisdiction.
Right.
But are they suspecting him of other homicides in other jurisdictions?
Great question.
Are they?
Betty? Great question. According to you, a month ago, they were.
Or have they? I believe, and I know for a fact that, yes, Pennsylvania has done an extensive and exhaustive investigation with Brian Kohberger and where he's lived. And I think it was 2 or 3 different counties were looking into their cold cases. And we're going to talk about that.
And let that kind of gain a foothold in the zeitgeist, if you will.
Well,
and it's hard to combat that. How do you prove that?
On balance, I understand the concern, and certainly the presumption must be preserved. However, he's got plenty of problems on his plate in terms of.
Matt Cotter, thank you so much. What if he had a friend in neighborhood, been in house, and innocently at a party? Then what? We all assume he has nothing, but only heard one side. Just saying. No, you're right. I agree. Thank you. Grandmaster Sophos, thank you so much. We are honored to have Mystery Maven to educate us, and then there is BHB. Good point. Thank you, buddy.
What he's got to deal with. They don't need to smear him. Coffin Daffer, great to have you. Help us understand from the investigative perspective what it is that they see in Kohberger that makes them think, to the extent that it's not just automatic that they do this, What kinds of things here would spark that kind of interest, and what would they be doing?
Well, specifically, if they have a case that fits the modus operandi, which is just fancy words for the way of doing something that matches what happened in Idaho, for instance, is the target a young, beautiful co-ed? Was the weapon of choice a knife? Was the arrival and departure of the individual in a vehicle as opposed to being dropped off or by foot? Was the time chosen at this 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock time frame? How about the surveillance geo-tracking, if you will, that would have been done of the phones? Did something like that occur at this location, at a location they're looking at, to show this time frame? And then finally, is there any surveillance or witness account of somebody being dressed like Brian Kohberger dressed?
All right, we're going to stop it right there just for a second.
This should be fucking rich, because all that woman did just now was explain evidence and how it can work to convict somebody.
And I'm going to come back here. Now I'm going to drop this off because we're going to now get into, was he investigated by Pennsylvania, and what those findings were? Because here is the issue that I have. I see we have 416 people in the chat. I just got back here. I didn't have an opportunity while we were watching those segments to monitor the chat. So I will be coming back. Yes, I've seen that they are checking into a murder of an 82 to 83-year-old Pittsburgh. They said it would have been when Brian was under the influence of using. This lady was a vegan, and it was stabbing. That is true. But listen to this. Listen to this. Let me pull this up, and we're going to get over to this side. Is it this one? Yes. So I started doing this because I remember covering this case back in about a month ago, and actually almost 2 months ago, January, because and this speaks on his arrest. That's not the one I'm looking at. What do we know about the arrest? No, these are not the ones. These are the ones right here. So this is back in February. So about a month ago, I decided to cover this. Actually, I chose to cover this from this particular article right here. This one I'm showing you right here. And what we discovered when we did this is that, yes, he is under investigation in Pennsylvania. But out of the 3 counties that they had covered, guess what? And there's more,
read the article.
Ashley Banfield nonsense and her talking about her alleged sources, and we come back and it's not. You know who gave this the conversation about this? You know who did that? The Pennsylvania's attorney for Brian Kohberger. And then we had the police department in 2 or 3 separate counties say, yes, we did investigate Brian Kohberger, and we found nothing to connect him or link him to crimes in Pennsylvania.
Right. Okay. And there you have it. So law enforcement made a statement. Now, before this gag order, remember, people, that that these law enforcement agencies were very, very public. They kept making public statements consistently, almost daily. They were making updates. They were providing the public with updates in their investigation, and they were debunking a bunch of ridiculous rumors that were being spread by idiots like her. This was happening almost daily. Okay. And what she's saying right here is actually a statement from law enforcement, one of those updates where they're saying, we checked and we have not been able to connect him to anything. That doesn't mean that it can't happen later. It doesn't mean that new evidence isn't going to present itself, but that's it right there. So you don't get to sit here and be like, oh, well, I said this a month ago, blah, 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 blah. No, dude. I mean, every idiot was saying what you're saying.
So this was a statement made a month ago by several of the sheriff's departments and counties in which he was in. And they said, we've looked. We can't find anything. So is this an old story that Chris Como is now recycling? Good morning, Dolly Vision. Nice to see you here this morning. I just want to let you know, since you're in the house, you are now taken off Vision. Nice cycling.
Y'all know what I'm doing right now.
Good morning, Dolly Vision. Nice to see you here this morning. Nice to see you here this morning. I just want to let you know, since you're in the house, you are now taken off the bedazzled Bullhorn Betty.
What?
Bullhorn. You're now officially relieved of your bedazzled duties. Sonia has been working on this since December. Tell me, how cool is this? Right? And it works. What up, Dolly Vision?
Oh my
Dolly Vision is in the house. And it even has the light. Look at that.
It's got a light, y'all.
No more nighttime protests without some kind of light.
It's
right?
got a light, guys.
Tell me that ain't awesome. Tell me that ain't awesome.
Oh my God.
So anyways, good morning. It's nice to see you in here. As always, it's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for coming over here and supporting me. Because we talk about a lot of what?
Bullshit. Dolly dick. I guess I nailed it. I nailed it.
I'm just having fun. So many of you guys know there's a lot of stuff I don't like coming from News Nation when it comes to two main people, Chris Como and Ashley Banfield. So did Pennsylvania look? Absolutely. Are they looking into them? Absolutely. Have they found anything yet? They have not.
Oh shit, I was muted. My bad.
They have not. I haven't seen anything come.
I'll try that again. Sorry about that. So why, if you're sitting here saying that you have this problem with two people, one of them is an expert, but if your problem is that they have unreliable sources and they're always giving misinformation because their sources aren't credible, then why all of a sudden are you what is the point of what you're doing here? You're either they're not credible sources, and they're the only ones, by the way, saying that You need a sound emoji. Thank you. Simple Life of Days. Did I read this one? Great. Now, thank you so much, Brianna. Great. Now I'm gonna have to take a hammer to the bull cheat button my son got me for Christmas 2 years ago. Also, you're muted. Thank you. So I'm trying to understand what her point here is. Okay, if Ashley Banfield's source for information are uncredible, which is what she's saying. Well, she doesn't have any credible sources. Her sources have been debunked and blah, 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 blah. But you're up here also bragging that the one channel that's talking about there being more victims from Brian Koberger, you're bragging about having said it a month ago, even though every other asshole with a YouTube channel that grifts for money were saying a month ago. So I don't understand. Like, what is the point? Either they're credible or they're not. Either they're validating you or they're not. I don't understand.
Coming out that they have conclusively believed that Brian Koberger we're hearing rumors about the 82, 83-year-old. And when did those start coming out, and where do they start stirring up from? Because as far as I'm concerned, every piece of information out to the public indicates that he is under investigation in Pennsylvania, but no.
If you just read out loud, you literally just read out loud law enforcement saying that he wasn't under investigation for any other. So what I don't understand. What indicates that anything that was just said is verifiable? There's nothing verifiable about it. As a matter of fact, you just read how it was debunked. Now, again, since then, maybe something has changed. Maybe there's more evidence. Maybe they can connect them to another crime. But what do you mean everything indicates that? What indicates that? What are you talking about? Like, show.
Oh, they have not connected him to any other case. And then they publicly come out and stated that they have not connected him to any other case in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Again, a month ago. So I'm curious about your thoughts here in the public. What are your thoughts about this particular situation? Do you believe that this is just more recycled information that's just trying to get the streets stirring with rumors and conjecture about this possibility of Brian being connected? Because of the case, we all believe that he may have done this. He may have had a trial run at some point previous.
I mean, it's not crazy to think that. Okay, I'll say that it's not crazy to think that Brian Koberger is capable, and there's a chance that he did this before and got away with it. The chances are pretty slim, I would say. The only thing that makes it seem likely is the fact that he brutalized 4 people and we're not aware of a motive yet. That's all we know, is that he brutally murdered 4 young people and there doesn't seem to be a motive, at least not one that's been made public. So, you're wrong for assuming that there's no motive. Just because you're not aware and there hasn't been a motive made public doesn't mean that there wasn't a motive. So the whole thought that he is some sort of serial killer is based on him not having a motive. But again, you don't know whether or not he had a motive. It's not that there was no motive and there's evidence to dictate that there was no motive. You just haven't been made aware of it. There are professionals working this case that have evidence that you're not aware of, that I'm not aware of, that nobody's aware of, other than the people working the case. So to jump to the conclusion that he's there were other victims and he had a trial run to get ready for this one, there's nothing to say that. Betty, you have such beautiful blonde hair. Why do you dye your roots black? Thank you, Stella Bella. That was fucking great. Yeah, so I'm not, this is just dumb. This is just pure, like, oh, just drink that in, bro. Drink that in.
To carrying out this heinous act in Idaho. Did he do that? It's always been in the back of my mind. I will be honest with you. It's always been in the back of my mind. It's been in the back of many of my audience's mind. I guarantee it's been in the back of the minds of a lot of people on Dolly Vision. Right?
You have to understand, it's not like the cops aren't looking, okay? It's not like the cops aren't looking. The cops are going to try to find anything that they can to make a case stick, to put this guy away. Guaranteed that if they believe he was capable of killing other people, they're looking into that. Any unsolved murders in his area, in the route to one area where he was known to be, which is point A, and then point B, another area where he was known to be. They're looking all in between that and those places. Guaranteed. For any unsolved murders that have the same MO, that's what law enforcement's job is. And if they haven't found anything by now, then there probably isn't anything.
That it is potential that he did this. But how do we fact find this? The only way I can fact find this is going back to the people, like the police department or the sheriff's department, to confirm whether or not he is truly under investigation.
They're not going to tell you. You're not going to know.
So that's where we are at.
Which is nowhere.
Let me get over here. I don't need that garbage in this chat.
Uh-oh.
We're now drama free, so
we're now drama free.
Bye-bye.
You notice
what else do we have here?
She
just had, Samantha, I was furious.
Had maybe a solid 400 people in her chat, right? 400 people in her chat. She used to have like 7 or 8 steady, right? Why? Because she would go on some drama tangent. She would talk about how she's not drama, and then and how it's a drama-free zone, right? And then she would go on a tangent about other channels and how she's going to get these people, and we're coming. Get ready. Here we come. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
When I seen the news, just Samantha. So let me ask you, just news, just just Samantha. So let me ask you, just Samantha, because you're the one that helped me fact find a lot of the stuff with Ashley Banfield. I mean, we were able to literally go and find the TikTok that she pulled from a source that wasn't really a source. And
everybody did that. You didn't do that. Everyone did that. Everyone did that. What are you talking about? You didn't fucking like discover the TikTok person. Like, it was all over the place that Ashley Banfield had got some not credible source. True Crime Dime, thank you so much. She's trying to say she's trying to say the wounds, weapon, and 3 a.m. attack match those cases. She thinks she's smarter than the FBI. They are on it, bedsore Betty, for fuck's sake. Agreed. Thank you.
The letter that was produced wasn't really a letter or a letter written from the university. Then we found on another one of her stories with an anonymous source, we found exactly which YouTube video she watched to garner that information. And now we're hearing Chris Como, and that was just two of many confidential sources coming from Team Banfield that we were able to identify.
It's so funny to me, like, dude, Brian Enton is Gale Weathers, bro. Like, if you've ever seen the movie Scream, that's all Brian Enton is. That's not to insult him. It's an honest job. He's doing good, and he's good at it. You know what I mean? But he's fucking Gale Weathers, dude. You know? Like, that's it. He's not like Walter Cronkite, Dan Rather. You know what I mean?
Where they came from, and the fact that they were not considered legitimate sources of that information, but she ran with the stories anyways. And I feel like Como is doing a lot of the same. We have a stagnant time here, so nothing more than getting people stirring and talking about something else. And yes, is he and was
Brianna, thank you so much. Only one of them spread audio of the murders they knew was fake on YouTube and hasn't deleted the video yet. And as much as I loathe the woman, it wasn't Ashley Banfield, right? Thank you.
Is he under investigation in Pennsylvania? Yes, he was. And as of a month ago, Pennsylvania cannot find any.
I'm going to get kind of shitty here, bro. Listen. I'm going to get kind of shitty here. I mean, maybe it's because I'm picky. You know what I mean? But dude, like, I could not imagine waking up to that, you know, because it's the hate in her face. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand there's, both men and women look rough in the morning. You know what I mean? But I just don't. I can't imagine waking up and being like so glad to be there. I'm hearing myself talk, and I know I sound fucked up. Listen, I know I sound really shitty, but it's the truth. Like, and I blame her in part for presenting herself like this. She wants to be known as a public figure, right? She wants to be known as a public figure, and as a public figure now, I'm forced to picture her in bed. What she looks like first thing in the morning without any fucking self-care at all. Just, and then I just imagine just waking up and looking over and being like, what am I doing, dude? Like, at least I'd never be in that position in the first place, but I don't imagine a man being in that position and being like, yeah, I'll make coffee. You know what I mean? And like a million thoughts going through, just, dude, what the fuck was I thinking? You know what I mean? It's just, I can't imagine, because look, it's the hate in her face. You know what I mean? It's the anger. I just don't see. I've been in relationships where I wake up next to the woman that I love, and then I want to hug them. I can't wait to kiss them. Hello. You know what I mean? I know exactly that feeling, but I'm seeing somebody that's just full of hate, because I know that feeling too. I know that feeling of being in bed with somebody that fucking just hates because they hate, and like, it makes your bed smell in a certain way, and I'm just like, fuck, man, I got to get out of this. Was I thinking? I got to get the fuck away before I get hurt. You know what I mean? I can't help it. It's just, I'm looking at this person who thinks it's a good idea to stream from her bed, and I can't, you know what I mean? I can't look over there and just be like, okay. It's just not possible.
Connection with Brian Koberger and any cold case that they have. Now, unless they branched out a lot further and now are trying to make a leap from maybe a community that he wasn't known to have frequented, that's a possibility. But again, I'm not hearing that.
Thank you.
I'm not reading.
Thank you. She's a 2 at 10 a.m. and a 10 at 2 a.m. Keep drinking. No. Stella Bella, no. That is not, no. Because, listen, I feel like I can hold my liquor pretty well, okay? Since we're walking down fantasy lane, right? I feel like I can hold my liquor pretty well, okay? And I imagine, like, being at the bar, I don't imagine it getting past, I'm good, thank you. I don't imagine it getting past that. You know what I mean? Like, I like whiskey, you know what I mean? But I've had poor judgment with drinking in the past. It's happened, but that kind of poor judgment, I feel like I grew out of. Like, it's happened, you know what I mean? In my 20s, like it's it's happened, but I'm not. Yeah. True Crime Dime. Remember the week straight she wore BK's sister was working with his defense team at the crime scene. She's always wrong and never apologizes. Oh, she's consistently wrong. Thank you so much, True Crime Dime. She's consistently wrong. Like, that's another thing. I can't even imagine a conversation. That's what I'm trying to say. Is even like, you know, I'm at the bar, I got my drink, you know, and then somebody, you know, she starts talking to me, and then let's say we both start talking about similar things, cases, you know what I mean? We randomly meet each other. She starts talking about a case. I can't imagine that conversation going 5 minutes going, are you sure you've been following that case? I don't see it getting past that, you know? Are you sure, you know, that you are following the same case, that we're following the same case? Stella Bella, thank you so much. I'm afraid to open my eyes. I did not mean for you. I was talking out loud. Olivia Newton-John is my vibe, most definitely. Yeah. Dude, total opposite people. You know what I mean? Totally opposite people. Yeah. Thank you, AB. I appreciate it.
That. I'm not seeing that. So at what point? And then you got this defense attorney trying to say that yes, Josie West, yes, I only listen to Brian Enton, to be honest with you. I do too. When it comes to News Nation, he is the only one that I trust to be legit.
That's so stupid.
The only person.
That is so dumb.
And I can promise you, after looking at Ashley and Como, if I had not met
absolutely.
Brian Enton in person and knew him and know the quality of his work and how hard he works.
Stop talking like you guys kick it, bro.
And I not know.
Stop talking like you guys kick it. You really think this dude, because again, the writer of that article in Vanity Fair had not written that article yet. She was on scene. She was doing her research, right? Do you think, like, if Brian Enton had a mutual understanding of your relationship that you have with him, don't you think that he would have talked you up when put on the spot to do so? Why would you think that? I mean, if right there, he's asked about you, if you guys are homies, he's gonna be like, "No, man, me and Betty are cool. Yeah, no, that's my homegirl." You know what I mean? But no. Lisa Maxwell, thank you so much. You really had her all hot and bothered when you call her. You have a great chance. Shut up. Oh my God, thank you.
Known that about him, I would probably be dogging him on this channel. I will be honest with you.
Wow.
Because News Nation has got.
Let me get this straight. So he's legit and he's respectful. He's everything, and he's the only one you listen to. But if you guys weren't friends, as you seem to think that you are, if you guys weren't friends, you'd be dogging him on there too. So basically, you're admitting that the only reason that you are vouching for Brian Enton's work is for personal reasons. Because you just admitted that if you guys weren't friends, you'd be dogging him on your channel too. Like, what?
A sour taste in my mouth. And thank God they have Brian Inton. Because if they were trying to build their channel or build their platform on Como and Banfield alone, I think they would be probably next to the Inquirer in their storytelling, right? So Chris Como is in the hot seat on the Bullhorn Betty channel this morning as to recycling old
anybody
information.
gets on the hot seat in the Bullhorn.
If that changes, if we find out that that's different, I will be the first to come on here and say, guess what? Chris Como was right. Chris Como was right. But I don't. And I'm starting to lose faith. I had Jennifer Coffendoffer is now a questionable source for me. I can no longer trust what's coming out of her because
now that's all because she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about and they didn't validate anything that she said. People who know what the fuck they're talking about said something that contradicts what she thinks, and now they're in the hot seat and on her shit list. So funny, dude.
You know what? She's not on Brian Inton's show.
What?
Think about that.
She is. She's on News.
Whose show is Jennifer Coffendoffer popping up on? Ashley Banfield and Chris Como. Two people that we can fact find and find out half of their stories are inaccurate at best.
That's because they work for News
Thank
Nation.
you.
That's because they work for News Nation. Again, it's because News Nation is a tabloid news source. They are not a reputable news source. They are tabloid. Like I said, that's not to say that they are not actual reporters, actual journalists. They just go a different direction with how they collect and deliver information. Period. Psycho cunt, thank you so much. Drunk me would end up fighting her. And this coming from a lady who loves the ladies. Yeah, she'd probably end up beating me up too, just for fucking just being like, what are you talking about, lady? She'd probably choke me. Strangle.
I thought it was beautiful. But we're going out in style. And don't forget, the girls, the Mod Squad, made me a vest, a Bullhorn Betty reflective vest.
Wow.
So we're going to be lighting it up wherever we go. We're absolutely going to be lighting it up. Just.
I can't wait. Now, I'm not saying that I think it's great that she's going to go out there with a bullhorn and a light up vest to harass people, but I can't wait till she looks as stupid as she's going to look doing it. Because, yeah, at this point, this is another thing that we have to take into consideration, people. Like, it's gotten to a point where, because she has not been out anywhere with a bullhorn and a light up jacket or light up vest yelling and screaming and harassing somebody in front of their house since Savannah, Georgia, since the Quentin Simon thing. She has not done that. Think about that for a second. And think of all the time that's gone by since then. And think about her reputation and how it's accumulated since then. You understand? So now that she has not gone out with a bullhorn and a light up vest, making a complete ass of herself, and make no mistake, I think that there's also a reason why she hasn't done that, and it's because of her reputation. She's aware. She knows, at least subconsciously, she knows. Otherwise, she wouldn't try to bullshit all the time. But she's aware that people look at her like she's an asshole. The majority of people who watch her are watching her because they know she's an asshole. And then what's going to end up happening is all of this time that went by, she's going to strap on her vest, click the little button and make it light up. You know what I mean? And then she's going to be yelling through a bullhorn and nobody's going to have it. Everybody's going to be like, what the fuck is this? Not this fucking lady. Please, God, not this lady. That's what's going to end up happening. And they're going to end up, I mean, and then when the people demand that she get the fuck out of there and she starts going, my First Amendment rights, how could you, blah, 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 I'm here to stay, I'm Bullhorn Betty. Once she does that, and then the cops are just going to end up taking her away, Because that's the thing is, when it comes to Betty, I don't have to hope that her channel gets taken away. I don't have to campaign to have her mass reported. I just don't need to do that. It's ineffective in comparison to simply just talking about her and showing what a jackass she is. So what's going to end up happening is by the time she goes out there and does this, she's just going to do that. She's going to make this ass of herself. And people who, I mean, she's already gotten Vanity Fair to talk about her. She's already had bigger channels mention her, but not by name, and say, fucking idiots going out there with bullhorns and shit. You know what I mean? And I mean, yeah, Molly going out and getting her channel taken away again. It's something I just simply look at it as that's what happens when you do what they do. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. That's why you always see me like this. I'm never like, oh my God, we have to do something about this person. We have to shut them down. We have to get them shut down. You know what I mean? Like, because eventually it's going to happen. And I just try to look at the brighter side of things, that as long as they're doing it, I'm going to talk about it. Because the thing is there's always going to be somebody to talk about. There's always going to be somebody that's doing these things. It just so happens that a bunch of them decided to team up at one point. And by them teaming up, it brought together a bunch of different people from different communities to talk about the same thing. I mean, that's all that happened. And the more people become aware of their behavior, the better. And like I said, I don't even feel like you need to campaign to get a channel removed. Eventually, it's going to catch up to them. That shit's going to happen. It'll work itself out. I've seen it happen twice already. Canceled Karen and MGL. Twice. I don't believe that there was a mass campaign to shut down MGL. I don't believe that. I think she was reported for the trans thing. Of course, she was mass reported for that, but I'm not meaning that I'm not denying that that happened. What I'm saying is that's not what got her booted off. It turned out to be ineffective. What got her booted off of YouTube was her violating someone's privacy by showing their license on camera. Simple. And we just never know what it's going to be that's going to remove these channels. But count on it. It's going to happen. Because honestly, the two most effectively despicable people in the crime community on YouTube got their channels taken away. That's Canceled Karen and MGL. I will easily say the two of them were the most effective as far as victimizing victims that much further. Betty's getting there, but she hasn't even come close to the shit that Canceled Karen did and what MGL did. She hasn't even come close. Not to say that what she's doing and what she has been doing isn't fucked up. I'm saying she's barely been on YouTube doing this stuff in comparison to MGL and in comparison to Canceled Karen. And look what happened to them. It took a while, but it happened. And who's to say that YouTube doesn't work in a similar system as law enforcement? Because they don't want to get sued. Right? Again, YouTube considers you, if you are a creator on YouTube, they consider you a partnership with them once you are monetized. That's exactly how they look at it. They don't want to be in a partnership with somebody who's going to get them sued. So it's just a matter of time. You know, I mean, yes, Lindsay Smith, I do agree with you. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of great channels. Toast is, of course, being one of them. But there's a lot of great channels that are talking about this stuff. I'm just being clear on what my personal reasons for doing so are. That's all. And everyone has their own reasons for covering this stuff, and more power to everyone who's doing it. I'm just saying that I don't believe that the mass flagging is effective. Personally, I just don't think it's effective. If you choose to do it, of course. I mean, you know what I mean? Like the mass flagging, no, because that is now mass false flagging, of course, is bad. But I mean, if you choose to do that, that's your way of getting something done. I'm not criticizing you for that. I'm saying me personally, I personally find this to be more effective. People talking about them, people exposing them, and then there's the standards for the viewer becoming raised. That's why I posted that comment. That's why I took a screenshot of that comment and posted it in my community. Because that's an example of somebody who was like, I was a supporter of BHB. She was listening to the words. She was saying, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this, we're doing that, but not actually using their eyes to see what Betty was actually doing in the grand scheme of things. And then was like, it's because of channels like yours that I changed my mind. To me, that is much more effective. Because that catches on. People start talking in Facebook groups and in Discord groups, and people start talking, and then things start to catch on. And on top of it being more effective, in my opinion, on top of that, it's just fucking more fun. Simple. It's way more fun. It's way more fun to sit here and just point this shit out. I have a blast doing it. You know? Because there's always going to be somebody doing it. You know what I mean? It's like killing zombies, you know? It's like you're in the situation. Why not take some fun into it? Like Tallahassee and Zombieland, you know? Why not just have some fun with it? You know, this is where we are. We're here on YouTube and people are shitty on YouTube. It's going to happen. Why not talk about it? Why not inspire people to raise their standards? Simple. To me, that's way more effective. And it's fun. It's just way more fun than having to sit there and go through, report, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the report button is there for a reason. They want you to report if you see something, of course. I'm just saying it's not as effective as I find just simply expressing yourself as loudly as they are, just with logic and rationality. It just makes more sense to do that to me. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, man. You guys were awesome. I had a great time with you guys, as always. I love hanging out with you guys. And yes, I'm going to be talking about more true crime stuff. But, I'm not going to stop doing this, because it's, like I said, it's too much fun. So, yeah, I really appreciate you guys. I will be live tomorrow streaming the Letitia Stock trial. I hope you guys will join me for that. I know trials can be kind of boring, and they're pretty redundant because, not redundant, but there's a lot of stuff being covered, but it's so that they can create an airtight case and get this person convicted, because we all know that she's guilty and we all know that she's evil. And I find it just as entertaining to see justice done. So I hope you guys will join me, and I love you very much. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for all the new subscriptions. Thanks for the support. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.